Don't let these months fly by you. There is still time to get in that summer trip. And let's be real, we might want to add the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to our list. The Cleveland Museum is home of all things rock and roll, and that's an expansive definition, y'all. The new SNL exhibit also brings you up close to artifacts from musical sketches like the cowbell, or maybe the glasses from Run DMC, or the dress from Sabrina Carpenter, and so much more. Check out the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to learn more about the music that connects us all. More info is at rockhall.com/exhibitions/SNL 50 Years Music. Today on CityCast Chicago. Picture this, you and your friends making plans to go hang out at the park or the beach on a nice summer day. Y'all in the mood for a little picnic vibe, but the catch is, ain't nobody trying to cook at the crib, and you want to get the food to be as fresh as possible. Well, as a team obsessed with a takeout picnic, we ain't gonna gatekeep. We gonna put you on some of our favorite spots. It's Wednesday, July 16th. I'm Jacoby Cochran, and this is what Chicago's talking about. I'm joined this morning by executive producer Simone Alicea.
Hey, Jacoby.
We've also got producer Michelle Navarro in the building.
Hey, Jacoby.
As we alluded to up top, we are talking about some of our favorite places to hang outside and some of the spots nearby where you can go pick up food, drinks, desserts, throw a little picnic for yourself, right? We still in the middle of summertime. Everybody likes to be outside, but you got to eat. You got to drink. Got to stay hydrated. Simone, where are a couple of your favorite places to hang out outside, and what are some of the best places to grab something to eat nearby?
I mean, where I am, it's all about the lakefront. I live close to the lake. Most of my friends live close to the lake. And so if we are hanging out outside, it's the only question we're asking really is sand, grass, concrete. Anywhere between like Foster Beach and Montrose Beach is sort of fair game. I think the thing that I would pick if it's a small group is I would pick up some dim sum from Firama, which is on Broadway near Argyle. Very well-known dim sum spot. It might not be people's first thought for like something you would take out and bring outside. But I think there are certain items, pork buns, sticky rice. I actually really like the pickles, pickled cucumber, pickled carrots. I think pickles are really refreshing on a hot day. If it's a small group, you might just get one order of everything, or you could get like 2 or 3 orders of all those things, and everybody can dig in. So that would be my pick. And then the other nice thing about that is like nearby is you have Tao Tea, which is like a bubble tea shop, a boba shop that is like across the street next door. So if you wanted a beverage, you could stop in there. Or if you wanted like a fancier dessert, you could stop at Bamboo, which is like on that same strip. You can kind of grab a couple different things if you wanted.
I was going to ask, do you prefer like a platter of finger foods, like a couple different apps, or do you like to get a full entree and go sit outside and eat?
I wouldn't get like a plate of fried rice to bring to a picnic. And I think because you don't want something where everybody has to have their own individual serving. You know what I mean? Where you have to like serve something into something else. I feel like you want everyone to just be able to like take a piece and eat it. So yeah, I think finger foods work a little bit better. I think the less cutlery, the better in general, because then of course you want to pack in, pack out. You'd be nice. You're not going to leave a bunch of litter everywhere, right? In my vision, I'm thinking like, 3 to 4 people, or even like a date situation versus a big group of people where, lots of people are going to maybe be bringing different things. I think that entirely depends on the kind of gathering. And that might shift the way you think about what kind of food you want to bring.
Trying to think I feel like the last time I did a full-on planned picnic was Ravinia last year, going up there to see, I think it was the Roots, and sitting out. And you really have to think about like, particularly for like a longer picnic, like the transport. But I really like this idea of where like you're not thinking about the food having to hold up for hours on end, and by getting something or planning to grab things nearby, it almost takes that aspect off the table.
Exactly. That's kind of my thinking, is like, if the goal is to get the food and then eat the food, right? Kind of in immediate sequence. A couple of other spots that I just wanted to put on, especially if you're doing like date stuff, like each person wants an individual something. There's a new spot that just opened up on Argyle, Turkish Doner. And they have a sandwich that is delicious. And they also have some interesting bevies. I had a Georgian tarragon lemonade that did not taste like lemonade. Did not taste like lemonade, actually, at all. I don't know if you'd like it because it's a little more licoricey herby, and it's very green. It's extremely green. I poured it into a glass, and it's very, very green, but it's delicious, and it tastes like it has way more than 11 grams of sugar, which is what the bottle said. And then similarly, for sort of an individual thing, Uptown Deli on the corner of Lawrence and Sheridan. I actually haven't been there yet, but it's on my list because it's one of sort of the few spots, I think, frankly, in Chicago that almost feels more kind of New York bodega. Like, it's a deli, it's a grocery, but also they make sandwiches and they make a breakfast sandwich, and they're open really late, and I've only heard excellent things. And that's a nice stop-off spot. Like, a deli's a nice stop-off spot because you can pick up some of that packaged stuff.
Michelle, do you have a spot on the water you like to visit?
Ooh, actually, I picked two spots that are parks. So one park that I like to go to often that has a body of water is Palmisano Park in Bridgeport. And it's a beautiful park, very hilly. It has, once you get to the top hills, you get to see the skyline, which I love. You also get to see the E-Way, but I mean, the skyline looks beautiful there. And a spot that I like to go to is South Kawa Japanese restaurant. Now, this may be a little controversial because I know people are always worried about food safety. And Simone, you were just talking about the importance of how long something will hold up. But I had a birthday picnic over a month ago, and my cousin Lupita, shout out to her, she pulled up to the picnic with a platter of sushi, and everyone was so mesmerized. Now, I looked it up. Sushi, specifically raw, anything that has raw fish, lasts 2 hours, if not refrigerated. Anything cooked, 4 hours. And honestly, this wasn't a problem because once she brought the platter of sushi, we like inhaled it all. So it's like, it wasn't even a concern about, whether it was going to get left out or not. South Kawa is a really good spot. It's in Bridgeport. It's on 34th and Halsted, and their rolls are very inexpensive. They are from like $6 to $9. They also have a really solid deal right now, which is like if you spend $50 or more, you get 15% when you order takeout. So if you are planning to maybe get a larger amount for a larger gathering, that comes in pretty clutch. Another spot that I like to go to when I'm heading to Palmisano Park is Captain Bakery on Ashland. It's technically McKinley Park neighborhood, but not too far. There they have a bunch of buns, snacks, pastries, also very inexpensive. You could get like a red bean bun for like under $2, sponge cakes, fried dumplings, sugar donuts. They had like a curry bun, egg custard sweet top bun. Everything is also packaged, and so I think it's like such an easy thing to just get a handful for you and your friends and take them to the park and enjoy them. And so yeah, Captain Bakery, it is delicious. It's a classic Cantonese style bakery, right on West 33rd Street in Ashland.
Obviously, all of the spots we are naming have so many great restaurants, but Palmisano Park in particular, like if you are a sandwich person for your picnic, like you like to get either a big sandwich, you like to share a sandwich, Riccobini's is not too far from there on 26th Street, but even closer is Freddy's on 31st, Fabulous Freddy's. Again, I wonder if some people like to, take down a meatball sandwich in the middle of the park, but they also got slices.
A meatball sandwich in the middle of the park is a solo activity, Jacoby. I don't know if I don't know if that's a friend.
I was trying to ask up top, like, what is y'all off limits eating in public at the park? I don't really have a hard.
But I
fast and
do
hard,
think there's a
but-
difference between like what I would bring to share with a group.
Oh, I get what you mean.
True.
Oh, I get what you mean. Yes, I'm not sharing the meatball sandwich for sure, but I meant they have sandwiches. But if you also want, something for yourself, they got Polishes, they got slices.
You get like a
chili
chicken. You
dogs.
get like a chicken parm out in the park.
You could get a chicken parm sandwich. You could get the breaded steak sandwich, which is so delicious at Rico Benny's. You get the large because they have different size sandwiches. If you get the large and split that with a friend, it's actually perfect. But yeah, there's no limits. I'll eat anything in a park. I'm not the type to be embarrassed.
Freddy's has a good range for the park. Boozy milkshakes, wings. They even get some of their shrimp. They get Lawrence's shrimp that they sell. So
They have infused Italian ice. Be careful with that.
Oh.
Because be careful.
My.
Be careful.
The first time, speaking of eating something in a park, the first time I had a sweet steak at home with a hoagie, my friend and I went down and we decided to just eat outside of the Pullman National Monument.
mhm.
So we're just like sitting on the bench as the steak is like dripping onto the paper onto our laps. It was great. It was a great experience.
I mean, when you're going on a picnic, the best thing to do is go to the spots that don't have seating. Yeah, it gives you a reason to eat outside because the restaurant doesn't offer seating. So I feel like those are always the best places to go and take advantage.
Honestly, look, I know the kids may not want to hear it, but it's almost back to school season, which can be very stressful on families. But one thing you can start checking off your list: preparing your student for Chicago Public Schools selective enrollment exam. It's coming up, and that's where Top Marks Prep is here to help. Top Marks Prep was built by a Chicago tutor who saw what students really need: a structured study plan, plenty of practice, and a way to track their progress. Top Marks starts with a free diagnostic test, then creates a personalized study plan based on what your student actually needs help with. There's video lessons, targeted practice questions, and unlimited full-length mock exams, all tailored to the CPS exam format. That October exam is coming up faster than you think, so don't wait to prepare. Sign up today at topmarksprep.com/citycast and receive 15% off. Again, that's topmarksprep.com/citycast. That's a really good transition, both of y'all setups, because Simone, you mentioned Pullman. Michelle, you mentioned no seating outside. And that's going to take me to the far southeast side near some water, and that's Calumet Beach and Park. I think a lot of people may think of Calumet Beach and immediately picture Calumet Fisheries, which is not too far from there. I love some good fried shrimp, some catfish. But again, this is a place that has no seating, so you can grab it, and it's not too far off of East 95th Street. Also, some other cool places around there. Nolo Cigar Lounge, if you wanted to go grab a couple cigars to sit out in the park, sit out on the beach with your friends. And then Birreria Don Luis on 100th and Ewing. And they are not only doing birria tacos, they have birria ramen that looks so damn good. Kind of like ramen in the cup, but you got the consomme inside, got the ramen noodles, got the meat, got the flavor.
Here's a question.
Go ahead.
How do you feel about, thinking about birria in particular,
Mm-hmm.
how do you feel about the mess of it all outside?
So in this case, I do think this is probably better suited for like concrete beach than like maybe laying out your towel and maybe getting it all in there. But I personally don't mind it. Again, I don't mind the mess of it, especially if it's a day where you are out there to get into the water. It really doesn't matter if there's
That's
a mess
true.
at
That's
that point. I'm always down to bring a towel that's going to lay on top of the blanket for food. And then you kind of just wrap the towel up and move it to the side or shake it off in the grass or something. And so I ain't really against eating outside. And so Don Luis does have seating inside, and they over the summer they brought the grill outside, have had people like sitting or standing on the sidewalk, $3 tacos. But again, not too far from Calumet Beach. And I think that's the last time I've gotten in Lake Michigan was down at Calumet Beach. Simone, I'm going to kick it back to you. I know you like to spend a lot of time out near the water, but do you have a couple of spots, maybe at a park, just at a kind of park nearby you?
Yeah, this is more a couple of spots that I really like for food that I think would translate well to a park, and the nearby parks that I think they would translate to.
I got a couple of those too.
And so one that I have been ordering from a lot, it's called Masala Pizza, and it's a fusion spot in Lincoln Park. I think on Halsted near Fullerton, kind of near that weird intersection. So they do sort of Indian food on pizza, but they also do it in tacos, they do it in burritos, they do it classic, and they offer various like boxes too, like sampler boxes that include like a pizza plus some samosas plus fries or whatever, and like you can kind of mix and match stuff there, and I think that would make it really great to take to kind of a group outing. I think particularly when it's like really, really warm outside, I think that stuff can hold up really well. No one's ever going to be mad at you for bringing pizza to a function, ever. I like the chicken tikka masala pizza. And so for that one, that is really close to Oz Park, which I just like because it has all of the Wizard of Oz statues. That's a great spot to kind of chill out. And then my other pick is a spot that I just feel like does not get enough love on a street full of great food. And that is La Sandwichera on Division in Humboldt Park, on Paseo Boricua. Obviously, Papas Cache Sabroso gets a lot of love because of the jibarito. Sandwichera is a more traditional kind of sandwich shop. You're going to get a classic turkey. You're going to get a classic, kind of
ham and cheese.
Ham and cheese. Get a really good cup of coffee there.
I feel like that's right next to another submarine spot too.
It might be. It's just highly underrated. The sandwiches are not huge. Someone could probably eat a couple of them if they really wanted, but the price is right, and it's just easy. It's just easy, refreshing, good, practically across the street from Humboldt Park. And so, which of course, has the lagoon and everything else. It has the inland beach, right? So I guess there's still water there. No more swan boats, I guess, but still, that would be such an easy, grab and go and head on over to the park if you're looking for something to eat while you're around there.
That was reminding me of Bronzeville Hoagie and Panini, which if you go into 31st Street Beach or Oakwood Beach, it's not too far from there. It's right across King Drive off of 35th and Prairie. And I think one of the best parts is it's right around the corner from Classic Cobbler, which the peach cobbler is fantastic. But y'all, I really want to put y'all on the blueberry cobbler.
Oh.
It is something about just beautifully soaked, cooked blueberries. It just tastes like candy. And you can grab both of those. And again, you're not too far from Ellis Park if you don't want to go all the way to the lake. You got Lake Meadows Park right around there. But yeah, right off 35th Street too. I think that makes for a perfect time at the picnic. A nice little sandwich and cobbler.
Yeah, I realized I had a real dearth of desserts on my list, which shows you what I care about when I'm trying to eat.
I will give a huge shout out if you are somebody who are going to Columbus Park or you going out to Oak Park. I've shouted them out before. The Happy Apple Pie Shop right off of Harvey and Harrison. One of my favorites, not only because they serve by the slice, but even their slices of like apple pie, they aren't really messy. Just a single slice holds up well in the hand. The crust has a good integrity. And they have little mini chocolate pies, apple pies, cherry pies that are pretty grab and go. You can eat maybe 3 or 4 bites, but even their big slices. I had a slice of their apple crumble, and you would imagine that to be really flaky, really messy off the top. But like it really held up bite for bite.
Pie. That's a solid recommendation because pie can absolutely be a finger food. If that crust is solid enough, like if it's really holding its own, no soggy bottoms, as it were.
Yeah, and that's about halfway between Columbus Park and the Oak Park Conservatory. And so and that whole little strip is nice. There's a little brown elephant there.
Or you could just isn't Uncle Remus not far from there?
Not that far. Let me see. How far is about a 7-minute drive? Happy Apple Pie is right on the west side of Columbus Park, and Uncle Remus is on the northeast side. About an 8-minute bike ride. 20-minute walk.
Okay. All right.
Michelle, what was your other park that you love pulling up on?
The other park this is actually my favorite park. I've talked about it so much. I think it's one of the most underrated parks on the southwest side of Chicago is McKinley Park. And for my first place, you don't even have to go pick it up. They will deliver it to you at the park, and that is Phil's Pizza. My homie Cielo had a picnic last night, and he ordered a different pizza spot. But that's like the best thing too, is just when you don't even have to worry.
Ordering to the park is boss. Like, that's a great move.
And let me tell you too, not all places will be down for that, because of course they're worried, what if we don't find you? Then the delivery driver is going to be looking for you. And that's
you saying they came into the park? You didn't like meet them at an intersection?
No. So usually what I do when I pick I think I am an expert picnic planner at this point, because I have picnics all the time. So I'm going to give myself that title, because I'm really good at picking picnic spots that isn't a nuisance to people. Like, I know where the parking is. If you're walking in, it's close to a path, but we're not super close. So if we're like drinking, no one can bother us. And so I feel like you have to be somewhat close to an intersection where it's not going to be a pain for the driver. And so I always give an intersection, and or if they ask for like a specific address, I would just ask for the closest building that I can see. And I always ask, which a lot of pizza places do, a lot of delivery people do, is they'll call you before they're there, so you can come get the door. And so I'll usually just be on it. And when they call me, I'm already kind of ready to go and run over and wave at the driver, and he'll know it's me, And so that's always the best, because you don't have to worry about bringing, carrying a lot of stuff. I love Phil's. I always get Phil's, and ordering Phil's to the park does feel like a boss move. And it's perfect, right? Because I had like, one time I had a picnic with like 20 or 30 people, and I had 2 party size, thin crust pizzas, and that was like enough. I think we still had to take some home. The other spot that, if I want like a sweet treat, is my local cafe / bakery, Cadino, which is right on 35th and Archer. Everything's finger like foods, which is great. So you can have either a chocolate scone, blueberry lemon scone. My favorite thing right now that they have is the bacon cheddar scone, but I always change it up. They have, of course, pastel de nata, which is like they're kind of what they're really known for. They'll give you a little box and you can fill it up, and that's something that always does really well. A little pricier, but worth it, because the pastries are so good.
They have a hibiscus pie? That just sounds...
They sometimes change the menu, but I have seen the hibiscus pie. They also had a passion fruit tart that was so delicious. Sometimes they make cakes, and they'll have slices of cake as well. A really delicious quiche, croissant sandwiches too, also made in-house. Everything there, you can't go wrong. It's so good. And I guess the last thing is similar to Simone's Uptown Deli. My local grocery store is Cermak, and I love Cermak. I grew up next to a Pete's, and I feel like Pete's and Cermak both kind of give, like, they have that section where they have prepackaged foods, salads, things like that. And so my local Cermak, almost every time, and I even did this last night when I went to a picnic yesterday, I always either get like a salsa de molcajete or a salsa de aguacate or a whole like container of guacamole. They also have this really delicious mustard potato salad. I love potato salad. But yeah, yesterday I took the potato salad and then just like a bag of like tortilla chips. And everyone's like, wow, who brought the guac? Wow, who brought the
Michelle,
potato salad?
I was gonna say, between pizza and chips and salsa or chips and guac, like those are the two, like the if you show up with
They're
that
elite.
to the picnic, like
you clutch.
you're the best. Like
no, the homies were so, and then there was one homie and they were like, oh, I want the potato salad so bad, but I'm lactose intolerant. It has dairy. And Cermak, it has all their ingredients at the top. I reviewed them and I was like, this does not have dairy. They looked at them too. They're like, this does not have dairy. And literally they were like, you're the best person ever. And that made my night. And so just having a good grocery store by you that has these prepackaged, and then of course they have prepackaged fruits as well and things like that. But doing that is, you can never go wrong. Just a solid, secure choice.
Anytime I go to Jackson Park or South Shore Cultural Center, I am making time to go to local market. I am getting getting me a couple of containers, going to the hot food bar, cold food bar, and I leave fruit salad, desserts, depending on how I'm feeling. They got everything: soul food, barbecue, an amazing salad bar, pizza. It's local market, I think, goes pound for pound hot bar with any other grocery store in the city.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Pete's, about like their hot bar. Cermak doesn't, I don't know if all Cermaks do. The one that I have, it just has cold packaged stuff, but they're always made fresh. They're constantly filling up the shelves with new stuff.
People are constantly talking up the Mariano's hot bar. Okay, the Mariano's near me, the hot bar is not good. It is inferior. And maybe there are other Mariano. I haven't tried the Ravenswood one.
I'm trying to think. I really liked the one on 35th, but I feel like I really like just the ambiance because that Mariano's was also like a hangout spot.
I was going to say, is that the one in Bronzeville?
30 to 50-year-old people in the neighborhood. Yeah, I feel like that one has like more of a hangout vibe.
Wait, that's another thing too. Having a grocery store is also clutch, or like a market that has prepackaged food or like a hot bar, one that has alcohol, because taking a tall boy to the park too, or taking a couple is always going to also hit the spot.
Cupcakes, come on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, going to Jewel, getting some cupcakes and showing up somewhere. I've also done that. Also felt very cool because everyone was very happy.
The real trick with taking booze to the beach or to the park, I mean, number one, technically you're not supposed to do it, but we all do it. But number two, I made this mistake where I got like 6 bottles in a cardboard thing, and the condensation, like, oof. I really almost broke every single one of those bottles. So, you know,
you got to tote bag it.
You got to bring the little hugs version of the alcohols, them little bottles.
Ooh, that's a good one. Also, just like the cans are probably a better bet.
Yeah, cans are always a safer. Also, it just makes trash easier when you can just smash a can versus having all these glass bottles that are kind of also dangerous.
I invested in a cooler backpack.
I need
picnic
that.
Backpack that has a cutlery set and a blanket strap, all of those things. Last year, I went out to Dan Ryan Woods for a friend's engagement party, and it just reminded me of how many flag football games, how many family reunions, how many softball games we've had in the Dan Ryan Woods. And I just think our forest preserves we need to continue to be hyping up the forest preserves, y'all. But I was looking at the Dan Ryan Woods, and nearby there are so many great places to like grab food to bring there. Whether it's you're on a walk and you stop by Afro Joe's and you grab a quick sandwich and a lemonade or a coffee. Fontano's subs are like not too far up, like Hamilton, directly south of the Dan Ryan Woods, but that's also on the same strip as Jerk 48, which you grab a bunch of their jerk shrimp tacos or jerk chicken tacos. Trust me, people are going to be happy with that. And then you also got Flippin' Flavors, which has great sandwiches, great salads, great lemonade. And so within like 6 or so blocks of the Dan Ryan Woods, there are some really good picnic options, like really close by. And I think because it's so close to like a shopping center of like Walmart, Menards, like a Raising Cane's, Sam's Club, like people forget how many local restaurants also exist right there on 95th Street as well. And if you're looking for dessert, if you're not looking for a meal, you're just looking for some quick dessert, Rainbow Cone is literally, I think, 2 blocks away from the entrance of the Dan Ryan Woods. And right across from, I want to say a Krispy Kreme is right there as well.
The trick with ice cream, though, is that's an on the way in or on the way out item.
Or
right? You're not...
unless you grabbing like that, I had just had that ice cream cake slice, and that thing is a brick when you pick it up at the store. So by the time you actually get to the park, it may have softened up a bit, ready for you to eat it when you sit down. But yeah, I agree. The cone is for the walk. I want to give a huge thank you for the City Cast Chicago picnic crew. Not only giving you some great parks, some great beaches to hang out, but making it easy for you to plan food and drinks when you are outside. I want to give a huge thank you to executive producer Simone Alicea.
Hey, thanks, Jacoby.
And producer Michelle Navarro.
Thanks, Jacoby.
Before we get out of here, please bookmark our website, chicago.citycast.fm. There you can subscribe to our daily newsletter, Hey Chicago. You can check out our neighborhood and walking guides, our events calendar. And if you got it like that, you can sign up to become a CityCast Chicago neighbor. If you're new around these parts, that's our membership program. Maybe you've heard this before, and this is the point where you skip 30 seconds ahead. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because when you sign up to become a CityCast Chicago neighbor, you're not only supporting us, helping us to keep bringing you more podcasts, more newsletters, amazing social content. You're going to get access to ad-free listening, bonus content, members-only events, exclusive neighbor emails. We appreciate you. And if you got some time, you got a little extra coin, go on to show you appreciate us. Of course, I can't let you go without some good news. Argyle Night Market is back tomorrow. I was up there for that last one a couple of weeks ago. It was a damn good time, y'all. The food was busting. Drinks were good as hell. I bought some cool jewelry, had some nice boba. The live music was nice. It was a very good atmosphere. As always, we appreciate you for listening and reading. We're going to be back bright and early tomorrow. We'll talk to you then. Peace.